Well, at this time, I'm going to call Paul, and he's going to come and do the tribute to Cheryl. And take your time, Paul. And I'm sure this is going to be wonderful, awesome. Give a great big God bless you for Paul.
This is probably going to be the hardest and the easiest thing to do. If you understand what I mean.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank Congos Funeral Home for doing the usual excellent job that they normally do. I want to thank Russell, our cousin, Wesley, Aunt, Mary, all the family members that are here for supporting us through this very difficult time. Some of you know how it is and how it feels to lose a loved one. I was just sitting there listening to all the comments, but I was also thinking not just about Cheryl, but I was also thinking about the people that we have lost previous to this. And the first one that jumped in my head was Mkuu. I don't know, the vision of me talking to her in that hospital room right over there in St. Francis, and her telling, I'm leading up to something, y'all, telling me that she was proud of me turning my life around. And I'll explain to you in a minute what that meant. Losing my grandmother, my mother, Nianta. I'm looking at Debbie and Denise, who they lost to beer just recently. Uncle Buster. You name it. We can go down the list of lost ones that we've had to endure over the years. And every time, family has come together and supported each other. That's a pretty unique thing, because I've been to other funerals and other families, and you didn't have that kind of turnout and support like we do in this family. So it is not something that we take for granted. The boys have talked about their experiences with Cheryl, and I remember as a young man, actually as a child, in the street on Walton Avenue in Philadelphia, me and my man over here, Bucket, who I grew up with. Raise your hand, son. She used to say, "You want to go down there and beat him up?" I said, "Sure, you can't beat Tommy up." She said, "Well, yes I can. You be messing with you, because Tommy was the bully of the block." You know? Yeah. Billy, was he not the bully of the block? Aunt Shug, I'm looking at Carol and Rashi and Manzi, and how they just lost their mother and grandmother. So these homegoings are hard, but they're kind of easy because you have your family supporting you.
Right.
The hardest thing that me and Angela and Yolanda had to do, and Janie and Uncle Ernest had to do on Friday, was to go do this final inspection, which I hate. But I knew that if I did that, it may be just a little bit easier today. And thank God it has been. Cheryl Ann Lewis, also known as Mikey. Mother, grandmother, daughter, cousin, niece, sister. Very supportive, very loving, very devoted. In the dark days of my life, when I was in my late 30s. I was under this very, very bad cloud of alcohol and drug addiction. And the reason why I brought the two up was because I think at that time I had just got my life together. I had reestablished my career. I was doing what I loved, which was facility management, working in hospitals and healthcare institutions. And the two said, you know, cousin, I'm very, very proud of you. Because we shared a lot, you know. She also had similar experiences like I did. And it meant a lot to me to get that support from a family member who can sympathize and understand where I've been and what I've been through. My mother, thank God, she lived as long as she did to also see me turn my life around and to become a productive member of society. To also become the father that I can be, to be the adulting father that I can be, because every time I would go down to Delaware, I always have Brandy and Pauline with me, and the family knows that. Anytime I came down from Philadelphia or from Jersey, I always have one of my daughters with me. So, you know, it was one of the things I love to do, show them off to the family. My mother, on the other hand, was not a very vocal person. Cheryl was very vocal. She would definitely tell you what's on her mind. And I was talking to Cheryl, I don't know, I guess it was maybe 6 or 7 years ago. We were talking about mom and our older generation in the family, how we always didn't get that vocal, positive reinforcement. They showed you, they loved you, they took care of you. They had a roof. They had put a roof over your head. They had food in the kitchen, in the refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. But you didn't always hear that golden phrase, "I love you." But I think that is indicative of older generations anyway. So it was just one of those things where Cheryl told me, she said, "You know what you do? You always tell your kids, 'I love you.'" And I do. I do that. So we were talking about my mom, and I said, I wonder if Mom really was proud of me, Cheryl. She says, "What are you talking about?" She says, "You have a house, you got beautiful kids, you have an awesome career. You did good. You did good." And it was just like hearing that from, although my older brother, that was like hearing that from the older sister. It was almost like Cheryl was my older sister, even though she was younger than me. And she always had a good, positive word to share with you, no matter who you were. Being the big brother and the big cousin and the oldest in the family, I think, well, no, I'm not the oldest, but Janie is. I don't know what she's not here today, but I'm the second oldest. Let me take that back.
Take time.
She said, "You did good." Based on the response that we have here today, and the comments that we've heard from my cousins and from Russell and from Mary, Renee, and anybody that knew Cheryl, will always have something positive to say about her. It would be with my pleasure to tell Cheryl and Lewis, who we lovingly know as Mikey is, that you did good. Thank you so much.